Oh, here we go. What happened to the father? What happened to this household? Such a happy family before. I think Takopi, for the first time, I think is understanding the consequences of her actions, understanding the complexity of human emotions, and confronting ethics and morals in her actions for the first time. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist and also known as a king of overthinking and overanalysis. I was flabbergasted in last week's episode 2 yet again. Takopi's original sin is truly a master of irony and emotional storytelling. So many plot twists and unexpected turns and abouts. Assassination Zero is a sponsor tier highlight of today's video. I appreciate your support. Shout out to the best patron family. Sit back and I hope you enjoy my reaction to episode 3. That's the most ironic and heartbreaking statements of the year. Those two statements should never be spoken together. But here we are. Dude, that ass, the show's literally playing classical music in the background, creating this utopic gleefulness, happiness, cheerfulness, while there's a dead body of a child, Marina, on the floor. It's crazy. This classical music should not be played in the background in light of a killing. But here we are. Unfreaking believable, dude. So it's been exactly 7 days since Takopi descended onto the planet Earth and with the discovery of Shizuka. Again, there might be no relationship and it's probably just me overthinking and overanalyzing as always, but that's what you're here for. I just made a connection with this Abrahamic Judeo-Christian perspective of Genesis and the Bible and how, according to the Bible, on the 7th day, God rested. Similarly, in this case, on day 7, that's when the incessant, excessive do-over, fix, unwinding to go backwards to save Shizuka has stopped. In other words, on the 7th day since Takopi descended onto planet Earth, that's when it rested because the camera is broken. Some very weird parallels, or just the power of caffeine. But either way, I thought it was cool. The happiest Shizuka has been. Unbelievable. Episode 3 is called Takopi's Confession. So curious to see what it's confessing about. Is it confessing about all the cognitive burden, survivor's guilt, all the trauma Takopi's also endured? Because I'm sure Takopi also experienced countless vicarious trauma. Definition right here. Vicarious trauma is when, like, a nurse or healthcare professional, paramedics, when they see someone else's trauma, they're not directly experiencing trauma, but they're witnessing the trauma from happening. And then they experience like a secondhand traumatic experience, like a secondhand smoke, but in this case, secondhand traumatization. We call that vicarious trauma. I'm pretty sure with all the traumatic experience and exposure for Takopi as a child, I'm guessing, would qualify for ACEs, definition right here, adverse childhood experiences. And according to the latest clinical literature, children with high ACE score, adverse childhood experience score, it's a great predictor, one of the most accurate predictor of their future health situation, the amount of comorbidities, psychiatric illnesses, psychological suffering, even physical ailments and physical deterioration based on the ACEs. So in that sense, Takopi would 100% have high ACEs score based on all the exposure I talked about. So this is a crazy situation for everyone involved. So I'm guessing so I wonder what Takopi is confessing. Oh, it was a coincidence?
心配になってついてきちゃったんだけど。何？
Azuma-kun. Okay, so Azuma, the four-eye, who reminds me of Lance from Frieren. Azuma-kun, or Azuma, was concerned. So I really like Azuma so far. We see Azuma show up again with his, again, kind gesture of doing what he can despite his limited circumstances, of following to the forest because he was concerned. Because obviously, Azuma or other classmates, they are hyper aware of the dynamic and the bullying between Marina and Shizuka. Children are not stupid. They're very astute. If anything, studies also suggest that children have way more refined and sharpened intuition, although raw, but untainted by this experience of life compared to adults. So children know, and they're way smarter than adults give them credits for.
その、何？気持ち悪い。
東くん。
あ、喋った。
Azuma sees the dead body. Poor Azuma-kun. Azuma simply wanted to follow and step in as necessary. Again, now he's a victim of vicarious trauma by seeing a dead body of a classmate, Marina. Can you imagine the innocent minds of like children like Azuma, who is not directly involved, like Shizuka, to witness all this traumatic exposure? Man.
タコピーの魔法でマリナちゃんが死んだの。ピー、静香ちゃん、魔法じゃなくハッピーのタコピーは
Right? The animation did a very adequate and very fitting job portraying the shock, disbelief, and Azuma, just like the four fear responses that I talked about: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Here, Azuma is frozen. We're seeing him freezing because obviously he's never seen a dead body, let alone someone that he knows. Absolutely in shock and disbelief.
ハッピー星から来てて、ハッピー星人だっぴ。なんか、なんだっけ、ハッピーフルーツが美味しいんだよね。
いや、おかしいだろ。
It is messed up.
何が？
何かって意味がわからないんだけど。なんで殺すんだよ。他になんかあるだろ。
でもマリナちゃんが。
しかもなんで普通に置いて帰る感じなんだよ。問題になるってわかるだろ。
True.
東くん、なんだか怖いっぴよ。もっとハッピーに。
お前、人が死んでるんだぞ。なんだよその喋り方。ふざけてるのか。
ごめん。
少し黙ってろよ。
東くん、でもマリナちゃんは魔法で死んじゃったんだから、しょうがなくない？
I didn't catch this, but the second time that Shizuka keeps saying it's magic that killed Marina, what can I do about it? It's magic, it's magic. Aside from killing of Marina made Shizuka believe in magic and having a dream again for the first time, I just caught another subtle thing that you guys might have missed out on. Similar to what Marina was doing using scapegoat theory that I talked about in episode 2, by using or viewing Shizuka as a scapegoat of Marina's unfortunate circumstances, father's betrayal, mother's negligence, and so on. Similarly, in this case, with the fragile and limited minds of Shizuka, she's also using a scapegoat theory. In her mind, it's not her fault, and it's not. Shizuka did nothing. Shizuka is not the one that self-defended herself. Shizuka is not the one that killed Marina, so it's definitely not her fault. But in her mind, because Takopi came to her rescue, it's not Takopi's fault either. Because Takopi is this innocent, cute, fluffy, pink octopus alien. So what's the scapegoat? It's not Takopi. It's not her. It's the magic that killed Marina. But of course, Azuma sounds like has a very strong sense of moral right from wrong, which makes sense. Some of the psychological profiling for Azuma so far in the last 3 episodes is he does try, he does care, he's extremely studious and very smart. He has that class president's role model studious students vibe. In the 4th, he has some sort of a strong morality or moral values. That's why he's like, this isn't funny. Takopi, you stop talking. Be quiet. Why are you laughing about it? There's someone dead. This is not okay. So interesting psychological profiling of Azuma so far. I like him. I'm a big fan of him so far. But knowing this show and how effed up and how emotionally intensive the show is, I'm sure there's another trauma and some sort of a broken family or attachment style or some sort of a situations and upbringing around Azuma as well. So we'll see if that's revealed in this episode or next.
魔法だろうがなんだろうが殺人は殺人だよ。久世さんは少年院に入ることになると思う。宇宙人がやりましたなんて通用しないよ。
So whereas Shizuka was in complete denial through scapegoating, magic killed Marina, there's nothing we can do because Shizuka and Takopi were literally on their way out, exiting from the forest space, whereas Azuka is more rational. He is more methodical. He's thinking about action plans. Step 1, step 2, step 3, this is what we need to do. So we also see how smart and organized Azuma is. Whereas Shizuka was just in survival mode, as we talked about.
本で読んだけど罪を軽くするには自首だから。か？
自首じゃないやつ。私本とかわかんないから。東くんは詳しそう。
小説なんかだと。隠すとかじゃないの？定番だろ。
そっか。
Azuma unknowingly is now becoming an accomplice and sharing all the common ways to cover up, making someone else take the fall. So again, I don't know if Azuma knows what he's doing by being an accomplice, but the moment Shizuka praised Azuma, you seem like you know a lot. We saw that Azuma blushing briefly. So even based on that interaction, maybe it's because Shizuka is a girl and Azuma is a boy, and boys are prone to the praises and compliments of their girls friends or female friends. Maybe that. But I think there's a deeper than that. I can sort of tell already that I think Azuma, based on his mannerism, that he's a high achiever, he's a studious role model student. I think he probably comes from a conditional love family. What that means is Azuma's parents are probably tiger parents who only praises him when he's doing well in classes, when he's doing well, when he's excelling academically. That's probably the only times the parents praise Azuma. Of course, I could be wrong since that's not been revealed yet. But I could kind of tell from Azuma's reaction and how he was blushing, and his self-esteem was validated the moment Shizuka was praising Azuma's intelligence and that you look smart. You look like you know what you're doing because you're very well read. So I could kind of tell that Azuma comes from a conditionally loved family just based on interaction.
じゃあそれやろうかな。
え？
少年院に入りたくないから。それをやろうかな。
She just straight up asking him.
もう犯罪だし、そもそも子供だけで隠蔽できるわけが。
タコピーの魔法もあるよ。東くんが方法を考えてくれないかな。
Shizuka's asking Azuma to go from a passive accomplice who witnessed the crime scene to an active accomplice who actively and proactively helps her to cover up all the evidences. But what I want to zoom in on is, again, the stark contrast and the spotlighting of Takopi's innocent face while it was being picked up by Shizuka, Azuma's despair and concern, and Shizuka's effort to cover up the scene. Because obviously she doesn't want to go to a juvenile facility, because Azuma is right. No one in their right minds, especially as adults, will believe magic or an octopus alien. So Shizuka will 100% take the fall and be locked away for however many years long.
そんなことできるわけがねえなんでできないの
私たちだけじゃきっとすぐに捕まっちゃう
Right there. Did you see Azuma just froze based on a quick memory recall? About sounds like it's his mom saying that, hey, why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? And we know that that was a traumatic flashback because Azuma was triggered based on what Shizuka was saying. We saw that it was a traumatizing flashback or PTSD flashback, definition right here, because his body froze. His eyes went blank. So that solidifies my hypothesis and my psychological profiling of Azuma, an overachiever who comes from a family where his worth, his self-worth, and his self-esteem were only recognized and validated when he was doing well. Not unconditional love, but conditional love, conditioned upon his performance. People like that have very, very low self-esteem. They only feel good when they're doing good because that's how they were conditioned. I used to be like that as an overachiever, and I also have very conditional self-worth. I would only feel good if I were doing well in life, professionally, academically, and so on. But of course, I deconditioned and I unlearned all these unhealthy tendencies through my own therapy, my own healing modalities, and years of hard work, working on my personal development and so on. But that's what that flashback and Azuma freezing symbolizes and represents. PTSD flashback.
私友達もいないしママにも頼れない他には誰もいないの東くん
お兄ちゃんはできたのに
お願い
Again, Azuma's PTSD flashbacks are happening. I think because of the conditioning, I think Azuma will help out Shizuka. Because again, that's how he's been conditioned. Not his fault. Again, it's the fault of his parents for raising their child under conditions of excellence. Big, big trauma for children.
助けて
You see that? Azuma is blushing and flustered because of that. I can do it. I'm worthy. I'm worthy to be loved. That's what Azuma is saying. I will help you cover up the crime. I will help you cover up all the evidences so you don't get caught because I can do it. I'm deserving of people's praises and love and recognition. Absolutely heartbreaking. Heartbreaking as well. So heartbreaking that I can't even talk.
名前じゃねえよ
あ、中に入れたものをきれいな葉っぱとか
大きさ変えられるのかとりあえずこれでキララ坂を埋める凶器はタコが体内に隠すと
ピー
あとはシャベル取ってくるからくれぐれも家で怪しまれるなよ全部台無しになる
Do you see how cold and analytical and straightforward, like action-based, Azuma has become? Azuma is also entered survival mode. It's like he entered this problem-solving survival mode. Like he has this tunnel vision. I'm not asking for what's name. What does it do? He's very cutthroat right now. But it's also very interesting to see how the adaptability, Azuma and even Shizuka and everyone, the moment he came across Takopi the alien.
これでいいんだっぺよね。マリナちゃん隠すのとか。コピー、その話し方バレちゃう。やっていくっぴ。また言ってるじゃん。
Dude, Shizuka is also interesting. Obviously, she's not sociopathic. She's just a very victim of countless brutal cruelty and abuses and trauma. But she's locked in. She's absolutely locked in, and she knows they need to do whatever it takes to cover up the crime and the dead body. And unexpectedly, the only one that is wavering and that is doubting this whole thing, this whole cover-up scheme, is Takopi itself. But I wonder the real final test is, would Marina's mom notice anything odd about her daughter? Because real Marina is dead, and now it's Takopi placing or replacing Marina. Because people who are close to you could tell something's odd, something's different. People who are close to you, your own tribe, your own community, will know even if you look identical, something's off. Because your looks can be replicated or mimicked, I suppose, like identical twins and whatnot, but your behavior cues, your actions, your behavior patterns, your mannerism, your speech patterns, and so on, all these nonverbal cues will give away. Azuma is not happy. He's not happy about all this situation. As the kids nowadays will say, or I guess my high school kids, because I serve and volunteer at high school ministry on Sundays, as the kids will say, Shizuka and Takopi would have been cooked without Azuma. If Azuma did not find them and trail them into the forest, they would have been cooked. Although Azuma is obviously super, do you see how stressed he is? Because now he's just become an active accomplice. What a crazy day for everyone, but especially Azuma. Takopi's happy again because of the approval of Shizuka.
今後は僕がマリナちゃんとして頑張っていくっぴ。マリナちゃん。
I could already tell, even before she enters the house, let's always be cheerful. We know that from what we've seen, Marina is only cheerful in a fake manner in school and when she's bullying and beating the crap out of Shizuka. But when Marina is at home, she's not happy. I've never seen Marina smile actually inside of her household because of all the brokenness and trauma I also talked about. So if Takopi's gonna pretend to be all cheerful after she goes home, the mom will definitely know something's sus and something's off. This is not off to a good start for Takopi. At least Takopi knows where the house is.
からタッセルってなんだよ。
カーテンにつけるの。
人の金でわけわかんねえもん作りやがって、この寄生虫が。
ただい。
キャバクラが良いのあなたはどうなんです？
俺が苦労して稼いだ金何に使おうが勝手だろうが。
ただいま。
目に入ったらどうするつもり？
Since the get-go, we see Takopi's entered another dysfunctional, chaotic household. And now I finally get why Marina kept calling Shizuka a parasite. Because children watch, hear, and observe what they see at home. Young children are kind of like parrots. They copy and they do what they hear and see. So the fact that the dad is calling his wife and Marina's mother a parasite for spending money, his hard-earned money, even though, bro, you're the husband. You're the dad. Your money is her money. Your money is the family's money. Because family and marriage is a unit of one. No more separation. But obviously, he's a shit dad of the year, like I talked about. And not just there, he just threw an item recklessly and almost hit Takopi or fake Marina's eye. And she could have gone blind, like what the mother is saying. So you see how this vicious cycle of trauma, dad inflicts all the trauma and hurt and abuses towards the mother. The mother then inflicts and passes on all the trauma onto Marina. And Marina then passed down and inflicts all that and more onto Shizuka. This endless vicious cycle. But now we'll see what Takopi is thinking about and what does Takopi feel and think about this chaos it's walked in.
女の子なのに顔に傷がついたら
だから傷もついてないしマリナも大丈夫だって言ってるだろうが。
マリちゃんはあなたに慰謝料を請求することだってできる。
いつまでも被害妄想垂れやがって非生産的なんだよ。これだから働いたことのないクソ女は。
マリナちゃんのパパとママは毎日たくさんお話ししてとってもの
I just love the writer's way of using this 4D dimension break for audience to glimpse into what's actually unfolding and what's actually happening, while one of the protagonists of Takopi being absolutely clueless. Again, like I talked about, this is probably the best show that's mastered the storytelling of irony that I've probably ever watched. Unfreaking believable writing. It's very thought-provoking and provocative.
しに行こう。ああ、いいっぴね。
いやだから今すぐは無理だって。チャッピーがいるお父さんのところ待つべきだ。
ところで離婚調停ってなんだっぴか？マリナちゃんも
しばらく町を離れるのは避けたい。
Azuma is not answering Takopi's question about divorce mediation. Could be two possibilities. One, he doesn't know what that means because divorce could be a foreign concept and very traumatizing for children. But two, I think it's more likely that Azuma yet again entered his tunnel vision of fix, problem solving, don't get caught, X, Y, and Z. What do you guys think? Why did Azuma ignore Takopi just now? And sounds like the mother is talking about divorce mediation, which is obviously probably their last ditch effort to not go through a divorce. Probably for the sake of Marina, I'm guessing. But again, it's a shit dad, and Marina's mom is also not that good of a mom. So is it really for Marina, or is it more for Marina's mom herself?
今からじっくり計画を練るとして。毎日放課後作戦会議だ。いいよね。
The notebook is literally called The Secrets. Me. It's the same Chinese writing, but it's also in Japanese. Because, you know, Japan used to colonize Chinese and took a bunch of Chinese dialects and letters, made it to its own, obviously many years ago. But yeah, that's read in Chinese, mi, which literally means a secret on the book. Probably not the smartest to have a notebook named The Secrets in your backpack. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. I guess he is a kid at the end of the day.
わかった。
よし。いやこんなことしてる時間ないのに。今日はもうさっさと帰って勉強しないと。
おい。外で遊ぶなんて珍しいじゃん。
Who this?
純也。
お前すっかりお兄ちゃんって呼ばなくなったな。
Azuma's big brother?
アズマくんのお兄ちゃんだっぴか？
ピ？うん、そうだけど。
純也こそ帰るの早いね。
ああ、いや、これからバイトなんだよ。母さんのことなんかなだめといてくれる？
Get mom to chill out for me, would you? I'm guessing that Azuma's brother is like the overachiever, the white sheep in the family, so to speak. And maybe Azuma is like the black sheep. And based on that flashback earlier that we saw from Azuma's perspective, it sounds like Azuma's mom compares Azuma and his older brother, who I'm guessing is like the overachiever, the successful one, constantly. Again, very traumatizing and very unhealthy for Azuma, since the big brother is like the shining example. But I can already sense that based on what Azuma's brother said. Will you tell our mom to chill out, would you? Again, 100%, or I guess nothing's 100%, not even condom or sanitizer. 99.99990% that Azuma's mother is a tiger parent who's very anal, very hardcore, very type A, who cares about achievements mindset. Just a quick pause for the sponsor of today's video, Yes Soul Fitness. Fun fact, did you know that physical exercise is the only thing proven scientifically to prevent or even delay Alzheimer's disease or dementia? No matter how busy I get with my husband and cat duties first and foremost, or my work, skipping my physical exercise is not an option because physical health and mental health are two sides of the same coin. This is where the sponsor, Yes Soul Fitness, comes in handy. And no, I'm not only promoting for sponsorship's sake. Check out the screenshots as proof for my 2-week streak and biking nearly 139 miles in the comfort of my own home while watching my anime or favorite YouTube channels, all for free by connecting my device to this rotatable screen. Think of Yes Soul Fitness as a perfect and better alternative to Peloton. It's cheaper. You don't have to spend $1,500 for only $400.99. You can get the same benefits, same access, high quality bike, free and unlimited streaming, you heard that right, and much, much more. For a limited time, use my code Psychotherapist Reacts for an additional $100 off, or use the link in my description below. Again, Psychotherapist Reacts for additional $100 off, or description below for the link. Now, back to the video. Cool brother. He seems like a nice guy.
バイトなんかする必要ないんだよ。お小遣いなんていくらでももらえるのに、ああやって母さんに心配かけて。
ソッピー？
わざわざ自分の金であのバカみたいな指輪買って、おとなしく勉強だけしてればいいのに。誰よりもそれを望まれてるのに。
Called it.
アズマくん。
That now I think we're seeing into the unfolding and I guess the elaboration of Azuma's trauma, as I suspected earlier. And we can already tell that Kunya, or Azuma's brother, is an overachiever. He gets as much allowance as he wants. Sounds like he's like the favorite child. Sounds like all of their family's hopes and dreams are onto Azuma's big brother. It sounds like he's killing it academically or in school. But here he is. He has a part-time job when he doesn't have to work. He's trying to be self-sufficient, and he bought a beautiful ring, probably for his mother or someone. Think about that pressure, not for Azuma's big brother, but the pressure of comparisons, excessive conditional love onto Azuma as a younger brother. Azuma suffers a lot from like the second child syndrome, constantly being compared to that child, the first child being on the pedestal. I feel for Azuma.
取っちゃえばいいじゃん。指輪。そしたらきっとあの人ショックでバイト辞めちゃうよ。
Why is Shizuka giving these antisocial advices to Azuma? Wow, is Shizuka's true self coming out after Marina was killed? Or again, did Marina's cruelty and all these antisocial tendencies I talked about rub off of Shizuka? Because remember, children copy and they do what they see and hear, and right? That's called priming and conditioning. I hope that's not the case. So I'm guessing, I hope that Shizuka is just trying to alleviate and help kind of calm Azuma down and trying to be helpful. Because obviously Azuma has been super duper helpful towards Shizuka and Takopi with the cover up. So maybe she's trying to pay it forward or pay it back.
ならないだろう。っていうか、それって窃盗。
なんていうか、アズマくんならできそう。
Bro, that's low-key manipulative for Shizuka. Do you think Shizuka knows what she's doing? That Azuma will do what he is told? What is going on? Why is Shizuka emotionally gaslighting and rizzing? Or not gaslighting, but why is Shizuka rizzing, as the kids would say? Why is she rizzing Azuma up? What's happening?
ここが東くんのお家だっぴか？でもしもの時はタコピーの魔法もあるよ。
純也が指輪を外すのは風呂の間だけだ。
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. He didn't buy the ring for the mom, but it's his own ring. Okay. I respect that. He's trying to buy luxury goods like rings and jewelry, not using the allowance, obviously to save his mom money, but using his own hard-earned money. I respect that very much.
あいつの部屋にあった。
That's a nice ring.
よし、これを。
見ろよこれ。ついに買ったんだわ。彼女とお揃いで。
It's a matching ring.
あ、自分の金で買わないとじゃ。
何を普通ぶってるんだろう。本当は欲しいものなんて何だって手に入れられるくせに。
I'm guessing Azuma is from a very affluent, upper middle or upper class family. A lot of allowances, he can get whatever he wants. Azuma is like, why is he acting like a normal person who has to earn his paycheck, where he just gets showered by his mom about whatever he needs as long as he's doing well in school. A very typical Eastern Asian household. Don't work. Don't worry about anything. Just study, study, study. I'll take care of everything. If the family can afford it, of course.
そうだ。お前それずっと使ってるだろ。次にバイト代入ったらさ、お前にも。
Oh, it's such a nice big brother. So we see that Azuma has a flashback and he freezes anytime he's about to do like immoral act. Like anytime he's about to go against his own moral values, like covering up dead body of Marina, and this time trying to steal the ring of his big brother. He enters a flashback, he has a trauma response, and his body freezes. That's a powerful display of cognitive dissonance, definition right here. Like I talked about, dissonance is when what we're doing something is in active conflict with what we believe. It's when our thoughts and values and our actions don't line up and don't match. It creates a cognitive dissonance, or I guess colloquially internal struggle or internal battle. So I think his body freezing up after having flashbacks is like a depiction of that, of Azuma's internal struggle. So we'll see how he covers up, because obviously the big brother's phone rang and he's gonna go back to the room.
見つかったら怒られるっぴか？
おい、道具でなんとかできないのか。
わかんないぴー。あれでもないぴ、これでもないぴ。
マジ。
スマホ。
Bro, all those gadgets. Yeah, that's not sus at all. What?
窓開いてたっけ？
Did Azuma just jump out the window?
まずい。見られたらまずい。逃げるぞタコ。
カズマくんこっちだっぴ。
わかっ。
重量オーバー。重量オーバー。
マジ。
Oh, that was.
声がし
Oh, that was close. Oh, that was close. Wow.
助かった。
重量オーバー。重量オーバー。
Thank God, dude. Honestly, if the writers killed Azuma by him falling off the rooftop here, I was gonna stop the show. Honestly, I don't think I could have keep watching the show after Azuma is killed. That would have been crazy. Man. Oh.
カズマくん、大丈夫だっぴか？
Oh, bro, that was traumatizing. Oh my gosh, that was so scary. He almost fell to death.
よかったっぴー。あ、でも指輪取れなかったっぴね。
できなかった。
残念。じゃあ罰ゲーム。 おやつのパンケーキはなしです。お兄ちゃんはいっつも100点だったよ。
Bro, it's so toxic. So toxic.
じゃあ次。
また食べてもらえないね。
Bro, I'm getting goosebumps. So toxic, dude.
ごめん。気を我慢して次はできるように。
Damn, bro.
何をやってもやっぱり君はもう。
待って。
Azuma is having another PTSD flashback because Takopi said we couldn't do it. I think the number one trigger word for Azuma that he's banking his entire self-worth onto is you can't do it. I think anytime he hears those words, he will do whatever it takes to prove his self-worth that he could do it. He's not the failure. He's not worthless, as what his mom's been telling him. But the mom is punishing Azuma for not getting 100%. That's nuts, yo. And when she's like, I guess it's a waste of time. You always fail no matter what we try. As an Asian myself who grew up in a tiger parents' household, I'll bet my money that fail is probably like 90%. Maybe even 93, 4, 5%. But to that mom, how come you fail this again? Your brother gets 100%, but you never get 100%. 93%, 95%, not good enough. But we see that Azuma freezing up, the blank stare, and having another PTSD flashback and trauma response.
どうかまだ。
何二人ともボロボロじゃん。ボロボロだってか？うん。
Azuma is crying and finally letting out all of his frustrations, hurtfulness, and just from that mounting pressure. Because whatever we don't express gets suppressed, and eventually they accumulate and pent up and explode. And that explosion or implosion often is not a pretty sight. So I'm happy for Azuma that he was able to let out all of his frustrations, his hurt, and everything in between. Oh, Japanese kare. Yeah, Takopi, that's not sus at all. Again, the writers are fucking nuts, dude. Again, excuse my French. We went from such a distraught, heartbreaking, brutal, cruel opening of episode 3, continuation from episode 2, to now second half of the episode. It's so cheerful. So cheerful. Listen to his music. So cheerful. My random question is, was the manga even more intense than the anime? Can someone comment in the below if you've seen? I'm sure many of you guys read manga before the very successful animation adaptation. Is the anime pretty accurate, and did it do a very accurate and good job from adapting from manga? And how intense was manga? Because this anime is freaking intense, dude. I can't even imagine a manga if it's even more intense than this. Not complaining. I'm enjoying this rare moments of cheerfulness and absence of trauma. Aww, so heartwarming to see, even though this is also kind of twisted in a way. Did they not fully bury the capsule? What's the point of burying that body if the capsule can be seen from the surface? Another clock, passage of time, transformation.
P. パタパタ翼は人間だと重量オーバーで。
It's called physics, fam. Physics.
別にいいよ。そんな期待してなかったから。
そうだっけか。
なんで
That diss.
よくそんなんで地球に来ようと思ったな。
そんなことない。土星犬のジオラマとか。僕はハッピー星に帰れないピー。じゃあ遊ぼう。
I like how Shizuka casually has a massive beetle on her. I guess as a girl, she's not afraid of insects.
3人でいるととっても楽しい。
It is so much fun. Takopi the volleyball.
とこんな風に過ごしていた一ピー。なんでハッピー星に帰れないんだっぴっけ。
Don't you have a broken rocket ship?
結局お前はおふくろの還暦祝いにも顔がなかったわけだ。
だって
Whoa, it's before obviously going back to Marina's parents arguing and bickering as always. Yeah, what? Because remember in episode 1, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I thought Takopi said that she cannot fly back to Happy Planet and she can't bring Shizuka with her to the Happy Planet because the rocket ship is malfunctioning. But why can't she remember? Is there some sort of side effects to all the time machine and time traveling? Is that kind of eroding Takopi's memory? Is there some sort of unknown side effects from time traveling to the memories of Takopi? But why can't Takopi remember? Or am I wrong in the sense that that's rocket ship didn't crash? And that's actually not the reason why Takopi is stuck on planet Earth for now? And last thing is, again, I might sound very cynical just because of how intense the show is. But remember when Takopi's like, oh, why can't, I wish we can always be this happy playing, smiling with Azuma and Shizuka. I think that's a massive foreshadowing. The fact that Takopi said that, we're probably going to see not so happy scenes or stories that's to come.
予定があったんです。
金にもならない主婦教室だろうが。
あなただってキャバクラ通いで家を開けてばかりだったのに。
俺が稼いだ金で飲むのの何が悪い。人の親をここまで邪険にできるとはな。
What?
ああ、マリナ。
なんだピカ。
マリちゃん、またその言葉遣い。
学校で流行ってるのか。マリナが最近明るくなってよかったよ。なのにママはうるさいな。マリナもうパパのところに来るか。
真剣な話はもう聞いたでしょ。育てる気もないくせに。
なんだと。
それって東京のチャッピーがいるっていう。
Sounds like the parents came to an agreement and they're not going through the divorce mediation, but rather they're moving forward with separation / eventual divorce.
行きたいピパパのとこ
おお、じゃあマリナも来ちゃうか、パパのところ。そうだそうか、来ちゃうか。
ろ。やったー。
Oh boy, I freaking knew it, dude. Do you see that glare and that glare from the mom? As soon as the dad leaves again to nightclub or wherever he disappears into the night, sounds like Takopi is gonna be subjugated to the mother's abuses as soon as the dad leaves. But based on that glare of the mom, I'm guessing it's gonna be a rough ends or rough scenes to come. Oh boy. Uh-oh.
やっとピ東くんに知らせなきゃ。夏休み前に行けちゃう。
Uh-oh.
やっとピ。なんだピママ。
こと。
Uh-oh.
気をつけなきゃピ。だってこれからは僕がマリナちゃんとして。
Uh-oh. Oh. Here we go.
いいよその言葉遣い。直せる。
Vicious cycle. Hurt people hurts people.
ごめんピ。
Oh gosh.
マリちゃんわかるよねマリちゃんじゃあ変わっちゃったね愛はずーっとママの味方だ
じゃあ直す前の
違う何もかも違う気づきもしなくても私にはわかるないあんたなんか
What? The mom knew.
お願いします
Or are those just angry
マリナを
words?
返してください
She knows.
どこの誰だ
Oh, I knew it.
マリナはお腹を痛めて産んだ大切な娘なんですマリちゃんごめんねいいママじゃなかったよねでも大好きだからお願い帰ってきて
Oh, I think this scene symbolizes this forced confrontation of Takopi's moral disengagement. Definition right here. Moral disengagement is when people disengage from their moral values by justifying and rationalizing what they're doing, even though it's immoral in this case. I think Takopi, through the mother's breakdown and pleading to return my Marina-chan back to me, I love her. That's all I have. I think Takopi is facing a forced confrontation about the implications and the consequences of killing Marina. Seeing a mother, although the mother is also very cowardly and in a very toxic way, because she's just releasing all of her trauma onto Marina, as we saw. She's not the best mother either. Emotionally manipulative, physically and verbally abusive as well. But to the mother's credit, I do think that the mother does care about Marina more so than the shitty father. She does care way more. But another deeper aspect of that, it also could be that mom has placed all of the meaning and the value of her life into the basket of Marina. Because her life is so uncontrollable, spiraling out of control, divorce, the husband cheats on her, husband doesn't care about her, the husband or the father doesn't care about Marina, the daughter. She's absolutely miserable, the mother is. A stay-at-home mom gets ridiculed and disrespected by the husband constantly, can't do anything about infidelity. So I think the mom is placing all of the baskets and hope into the basket, or all of the eggs into the basket of Marina. It's also very toxic because it's not healthy for the mom or Marina. It's simply too much burden for the child, Marina, to carry, having all that eggs of hope, all of the meaning and purpose of the mother carrying as a burden onto Marina. So I think those are what's happening in this scene with the mother pleading. But again, the fact that the mom knew that Takopi is fake Marina, it does show that deep inside, the mother does care. And the mother does love Marina. Otherwise, she never would have noticed, like I talked about earlier.
マリナちゃんは静香ちゃんにひどいことをする
Forced confrontation. I think Takopi, for the first time, I think is understanding the consequences of her actions, understanding the complexity of human emotions, and confronting ethics and morals in her actions for the first time. In other words, I think Takopi's naivete or a naive outlook is shedding a little bit. I think in a traumatic way, but still nonetheless, Takopi is becoming more human-like, or at least understanding a little bit more about the human condition, the human experience, which she knew nothing about until now. Oh, they used to be such a happy family. what happened to the father? What happened to this household? Such a happy family before.
のパパとママ一緒にいられなくしてごめんなさい。
She's confronting her guilt.
考えなきゃ。僕は何をしコピー
That's good.
これからどうすればいいのか。タコピーありがとうタコピー殺してくれてそれで静香ちゃんともう一度お話ししなきゃ。
That was such a profound and emotionally powerful scene. Like I talked about with the symbolism mirror, moment of reflection, contemplation, and accepting and confronting her guilt and the consequences of killing another person where the mom is suffering. Takopi is trying to reconcile with her new values, outlook in life, consequences, and I think also her mission to make Shizuka happy at all costs. She has to find another way to make Shizuka happy again without killing anyone else. This is a sign of emotional maturity, or this is a sign of emotional growth. And Takopi has become little bit more emotionally mature than previously. Very, very powerful moment. And the last thing I would say is about, because I do relationship counseling as a psychotherapist, if you look at the latest divorce statistics in the United States, it's about 58% divorce rate. But if you've been divorced at least once, you're more likely to get a second divorce and third divorce. And if you equalize all the statistics and numbers, second divorce rate comes down to about 70%. Extremely high. Why? Because if you knew you can have a way out, an exit plan from a marriage, if the marriage is a lifelong commitment, you know you can do it again. You can divorce again. Just quit. Just give up. And that's the reason why so many divorced couples, after they divorce, they thought they found a new forever other half, but they divorce again and again. If you don't work on your problems within your marriage or relationships, even if you find a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, new husband, new wife, the same issues will persist. And you will inevitably end up with the same outcome again. And here's what I want to really emphasize on. Out of that 58% couples who's divorced, when they first got married, when they first proposed on their one knee, when they first put on that ring onto the ring finger, or right here, ring finger, none of those couples even thought about the possibility of divorce. None of those couples ever thought it was possible that they too will become a part of the statistics. But what happens? Time goes by, people avoid uncomfortable conversations, people escape, people use distractions. They don't want to address the elephant in their room. They're not willing to have that uncomfortable conversation. But here's the hard truth. By avoiding all those micro moments of discomfort, having difficult but necessary conversations, you will eventually face the biggest discomfort of it all. Divorce, breaking of family, traumatizing of your child because of the divorce, and everything in between. Let's all try to work on ourselves, personal development, so that we can avoid becoming a statistics of divorce, because that is not healthy and very traumatizing for everyone involved, especially for innocent children. See, I knew that was foreshadowing. I knew it. I knew them not covering the entire capsule underneath was a foreshadowing for that body to be covered. And here we are. All right, guys, man, this was an hour and 25 minutes of recording. If you enjoy my detailed reaction as always, please smash that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. That's my request of you. And if you do that, I will promise to give you 8th grade master level analysis every single episode. I appreciate you tuning in. And as always, hope to catch you in the next week's trainer video. Till then, peace.